So I want to talk to you about thumbnailing. What is thumbnailing? This is something that is often overlooked. So in that first portion, and you're going to hear me say this more than once because I think it's important. You talked a bit more about the abstract, and you're getting the shapes and you're getting the colors, and I just wanted to give you a background on the abstracty things that you use to make your design document. Well, once you've got that design document, you have to do some thumbnailing. And what is thumbnailing? It is it's a few things, but mostly it'd be a bit of brainstorming. So you're brainstorming your ideas. The same way that you were writing things down with the mind map, now you're drawing them out. You're brainstorming them. You're seeing what works. And it's not going to be detailed. It's so important for you not to be detailed on your initial run through of your first set of thumbnails. So my thumbnail, if I want to create this ranger character, maybe I'm just going, okay, I got a ranger character, and I don't want to go beyond this right here. And so now I'm just kind of looking at this. I know that my ranger character has on boots. I don't know why this is blue. So I got this character that has on boots. Maybe this character is going to have some fur on top of him. He's got a hoodie on. And I'm just kind of jotting things down. And maybe he has like this, maybe belongs to some kind of guild or something. And this should be based on my design document, by the way. So he has a bow. And this looks terrible. This looks absolutely terrible. But it's okay because it's supposed to be terrible. Because you're just doing this is you're just writing these, you're just kind of drawing these ideas down. You can even make notes on it. There are no rules for this. I know that there is this entire industry of very experienced working for studios, concept artists sharing their works, which is awesome and good and wonderful. Then they do videos where they show you their process of thumbnailing, and it looks super polished. It's because if someone's been digitally painting for 10, 15 years, of course they're going to look super polished. And you may not have been doing that, but the point for your thumbnails is that we can always take this thumbnail. This is a starting point. That's another thing to write down. This is a starting point. Let me switch back to my handy pen here. So it's a starting point. And this may be nothing. You haven't looked at any reference. And maybe you're just getting some of these cliches out of the way. I want this left-sided shoulder armor or whatever it is. And maybe this character is an elf. And so it's a lot of right here, trial and error, and you're getting your ideas down on paper. That's what you're trying to do with thumbnailing. And there is no one way to thumbnail because this is about you working out those ideas. And I can't stress that enough. This is about how you are going to get to the finished product of thumbnails. So there are different examples of thumbnails that I've tried and tried to do, and I don't really have one way of doing thumbnails. So this is a thumbnail sheet, which I'll give to you. And I just put a bunch of 3D models up there and copy and pasted them because I just wanted to design what the character was wearing, and I didn't really want to think about anatomy every single time. And what the other thing that I did not want to do was I wanted to design a big cast of characters, and this is a technique that I just kind of made up. And so, well, that's not that's part of it, but here are the characters that I just wanted to play with an entire universe. And I used some reference for these. This was going to be my reference sheet, and I had a whole bunch of reference, and I just kind of copied some of the things that I saw on there. And so this is a technique, and I just use lines. I just use lines to go right over this sheet right here. And that's all that I did. I didn't start out with the silhouette, and there's nothing wrong with that, as I'll show you how to do that. I didn't start out with a silhouette. I just did it with lines, and I just wanted enough information. From this, I can bring any one of these characters up to a finished product. And as you can see, I used the same line technique. I just drew over some things here. So the idea is that a thumbnail has to look how you've seen it look, with starting out with the black silhouette and building up this gray and doing this and then moving that over, copy pasting it. That's fine, but maybe you don't work that way. And if you don't work that way, and if you are someone who draws lines and that's what you do, well, then that's how you have to work. Now, you may want to experiment and expose yourself to other things to see what you might be comfortable with, and you might do a combination of painterly, of silhouette, and of line all together. You may do your own thing that has nothing to do with any of that. Or you may look at later on, after you start designing, or when you get done with this course, you may look at and you've designed the characters that you're going to design from this course. You may look at the way somebody else does something and you add that in to your spell book, your grimoire, as my friend would say, your medicine bag, that you just put it in there, and it's just something that you have that you could pull out and use. It's a technique that you can use. So through this course, I'm giving you tools that you can use so that you can become a much better, a much stronger designer. So that is what thumbnailing is. And I will see you in the next video.